Hey everybody, this is Matt and we're at Texas Toast Guitars. Thanks for watching another episode in our ongoing series, How to Make Your Guitar Play Great in 2024. And of course, it doesn't matter what year you're watching it, these are all, they're still going to work, even if it's 10 years down the line. However, we're consuming information in a decade. But today we're going to talk about intonation because I've been fielding a lot of questions that start with, hey Matt, what about? Hey Matt, how do I do? Hey, ha ha ha. About intonation. What is intonation? How do I do it? What do I look for? What tools do I need to do it? Etc. etc. So I thought today we'd spend the next few moments talking about intonation, what it means, what tools you need to intonate your guitar properly, and exactly how to do it. Okay. So today I have Challenger Level 2. I've got a tuner on the end of the headstock that I don't want there. I've got a Challenger Level 2 maple top. This one is positively beautiful. And we want to get it set up perfectly so that whoever buys this gets a guitar that's ready to go and is, it's good to go right out of the case. So they can basically take it out of the case and start playing it, okay? All guitars that leave Texas Toast Guitars are like that, okay? That's just one of the things that we do. So, but what is intonation, and how do you set intonation? How do you adjust intonation? What does it mean to be properly intonated? We're going to talk about all that stuff today, okay? So, essentially, because a guitar has frets, it is, it is a precision piece of musical instrument equipment. Because a guitar has frets, it is an imprecise piece of musical instrument equipment. Essentially, what intonation is, let's cut right to the chase. Intonation is adjusting the bridge saddles fore and aft so that the strings play in tune, or as in tune as they possibly can, all the way down the neck, okay? But that presupposes a lot of things. How to make your guitar play great in 2024 does presuppose a lot of stuff. And this video is no different. Intonating your guitar, we're going to be adjusting the saddles on the bridge. I'm going to show you guys how to do that. But it presupposes that everything else is right, okay? What I mean by everything else is right is that your frets are all, in the right place, okay? This is a 24 3/4 inch scale guitar. If you guys are unaware, that means the distance from the nut all the way to the saddles of the bridge is 24 inches, except for when it's not. The distance, the halfway mark is at the 12th fret, okay? So what you can imagine is that the distance from the nut to the bridge saddles should all be 24 3/4 inches, and the 12th fret should be 12 3/8 inches from both. But that's not always exactly the case. You can't take a tape measure and do that. What you have to do is you have to tune the guitar and then adjust the saddles fore and aft until everything is in tune at all the locations on the fretboard. So you can imagine if your frets are in the wrong spot, like they're off a little bit, well, it doesn't matter how much you intonate it. If where your fret is off, it's not going to be in tune there, okay? I hope that makes sense. You could even say that if your frets are crowned incorrectly, you could be off on your intonation like that too. So if you imagine, the fret crown is a perfectly rounded, ideally perfectly rounded arc, and the very, very tip of the fret is where you press. If you press on that and the fret is like leveled incorrectly or recrowned incorrectly, and you shove that fret forward and back, even a couple thousandths or 10 thousandths, that could affect your intonation. Fortunately, it doesn't really matter that much. We're just getting it close. The guitar is never going to be exactly perfectly in tune. Say, piano is not. They're all a little different. But the way that you and I hear the guitar, we know that it's supposed to sound the way it's supposed to sound, okay? I think this will all make sense. But if you need more information on what I'm talking about with the guitar as an imperfect tool, there's lots and lots and lots of videos on YouTube or information in guitar. Just look up are guitars inherently in tune or out of tune instruments. And what you'll find is that they're inherently not exactly perfectly in tune. One of the reasons is because they have frets, okay? If the guitar was fretless, then you could just kind of move until everything was perfectly in tune. Wouldn't really matter. Lots and lots and lots of notes. But because the guitar is fretted and because this doesn't have all those crazy microtonal frets or any of that crazy stuff, this is a regular guitar because we're regular guys and you know, we like what we like. As far as I'm concerned, music stopped being made after everything cool that I liked in high school. Okay, all right, I'm way off the path here. So the other thing that it's going to presuppose is that your nut is cut correctly. If your nut slots are too tall and you have to press down too much, you're actually pulling the string sharp. If your action is too high and you have to press way down and then you really press all the way down to the fretboard, then you're going to be sharp. The idea is that you're just touching the fret. You're not pushing all the way down to the meat of the fretboard. You're just touching the fret, and you want to be in tune open. You want to be in tune at various frets. I like to use the 12th and the 5th fret. Okay. The tools that we're going to be using for this process is the little cool, handy StewMac toolkit that I told you guys about last time. I also have a long screwdriver here, but this has an extension on it, so I'm going to show you why I like this. So you don't have to go out and buy specific tools. The other thing is we need some kind of tuner, okay? Because I've been around explosions and power tools for the better part of my adult life, I have really lousy hearing. So what I can hear is not the same as what someone who has a finely tuned ear. So we need some kind of tuner. Now, the better the tuner you have, the more precise you can get. Okay, but what I'm going to show you is so like if like this is what, $100 tuner. It's not a strobe tuner, but if you have a strobe tuner, that works terrific. This little Boss guy would work great too. But I'm actually going to show you with one of these little snark headstock tuners, and I'm going to show you in the opposite way that you're used to seeing this. Okay. The other thing is, can your guitar be perfectly in tuned and your bass player not be intonated at all? Yeah, that can happen too. So you kind of have to fudge these things all together. It's sort of like remodeling an old house. If nothing is plumb and nothing is square and nothing is straight and nothing is level, then you kind of have to when you're upgrading it, you have to kind of make it look right. All right, and that's what we're going to do with our guitar. So we're going to get our guitar as this guitar is actually intonated, but what I want to show you is I'm going to show you what it means for it to be intonated, and then I'm going to move some screws, and you'll see what it does when I change the screw length on the saddle length. Okay. Because I think it's one thing to go, well, you just move your saddle until it's, you know, like if you're a little bit sharp at the 12th fret, you need to make your string longer, or if you guys can find all that stuff. But what I want to show you is what happens if you're intonated correctly and then you start moving it. That to me means that tells me a lot more than going the other way. Okay, you guys figure this out. You're smart. All right, so let's jump in and see if I can get the camera angle to look right. The other thing is I'm probably, for the sake of this video, going to be doing it with the guitar face or on its back on my table. Now, some people will tell you that to really, truly, properly intonate things, you need to do it in the playing position. Great, got it, no problem. But it's just me here. I got to hold the camera myself, so please cut me a little bit of slack and don't fill up my comment section with, hey, you really need to do that with the guitar in the playing position. Because if you do, I'm just going to think you're a turd. Okay? All right. So anyway, let's jump in and let me show you what I'm driving at here. And yeah, I think this will be a lot of fun, and it's going to go quick. In fact, we're almost done. All right, let's move the camera, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, gang. So here we are at the bench, and I've got my camera adjusted so that hopefully you can see what's happening here. And again, I'm resting the guitar on its back. It's not in the playing position, so cut me a little bit of slack, if you please. So I've got my little snark tuner here, and really all we're going to do when we look for intonation is we're going to tune the string open. Okay, it's a little sharp. Back it off just a little bit here. Come on now. Okay, we've got we're in tune at the open string. Now we're going to just lightly tap on the 12th fret here. And as you can see, hopefully in the picture, we are reading E still. Now I like to go to the 5th fret, and that should be an A. And look, there we are. We're at A. Okay, so that's basically what intonation means. Now again, if you have more accurate tools, you can get a more accurate and precise intonation. But basically what I'm saying is that the string, that open string, is in tune. We're in tune at the 12th fret, and we're in tune at the 5th fret. Okay, it's all making the notes that we want it to make. Now what happens if we all of a sudden go to jacking with stuff? So the first thing that I'm going to jack with, and I'm going to move the camera a little bit here. The first thing we're gonna jerk around with is the string height. Okay, so we're gonna raise the string height up quite a bit, way higher than it needs to be. Okay, because remember how I said if your action is way too high, then it's going to impact your intonation. Okay, now we haven't changed anything else. Let's reposition the camera here so you guys can see the tuner. Hopefully you can see the tuner. I don't know if you can. Let's try it. Let's come up a little bit more so you can see the tuner. Okay, all right. We're doing this in real time here. Okay. So as you can see, wow, we're really sharp now. Okay, now my open string is in tune now, as you can see on the Snark tuner. But because I'm having to press so much harder to get the string, or I'm having to press so much further to get the string to hit the fret, watch what happens. Look how sharp we are. See? So no amount of moving the bridge fore and aft is going to correct that. What we really have to do is we have to adjust the saddles so that our string height is correct. But before we do any of that stuff, let's adjust some other stuff here. So okay, so let's see. So right now we are, let's get it in tune. And let's fret the 12th fret. Look at that. So we're a little sharp. So we're a little sharp, okay? Now let's move the camera. I'm zooming so you guys can see all this stuff is in real time. Let's relocate the bridge saddle here so that you can see what that wants to do. All right, so let's loosen this screw so that we have so that the bridge saddle's in the wrong spot. Okay, and you guys will be able to see this here very, very easily. Okay, so I moved the saddle quite a bit. It's obviously wrong. Okay, so okay, so now I'm in tune at the open string. And look, now I'm even more sharp than I was before. I don't know if you guys can see that down here at the, let's zoom in the old, zoom in the old camera here. You guys can see it. All right, so I'm in tune at the open string. And now I'm crazy sharp because my string is too short. Now, a lot of people will say, make sure to test the harmonic. Well, you can cheat the harmonic, okay? So this guitar is horribly intonated, at least this low E string. But look, I can get the harmonic to ring out just fine because I'm not really measuring anything. I'm just kind of putting my finger near the 12th fret, and look at that, it's right in tune. So the harmonic doesn't really do anything, but I guess it makes people think you care if you do that. But anyway, so you can see there's lots that's going on with intonation. And what we need to do to get this guy back to playing position, or back to speed, is we need to remove, or we need to make the string a little longer. Okay, So we're going to pull this dude back, and we also need to make the we need to lower the bridge screws. Okay, we need to tune up a little bit here. All right, there we go. Look at that. We're almost back in business, but you hear that we're getting a little bit of buzz, so the string, the saddle needs to come up a little bit, and we can use this little Stumac tool. But you guys can see, like, just how much stuff moves around when you. Well, let's see. So as you can see, we're in tune here. Let's move the bridge screws up like a half a turn on both sides. Now I haven't changed anything here. Look, now I'm way out of tune. Okay, so just minor adjustments to all these little screws and pieces and doodads will radically impact your intonation. And again, if you have something that is more sophisticated, and frankly, it would be hard to be less sophisticated than this snark tuner pitch pipe, I guess. Actually, these are pretty good. But you could get a more sophisticated tuner, and you could really dial this guy in. Okay. But let's just see what we can do with this little guy here. Okay, now we're a little bit off, so the bridge saddle needs to come back, but you guys get the point, okay? Any amount of movement, it's not just going to be isolated to moving the bridge back and forth. You've got to get your action set, your string height set too, and that's probably also going to mean stuff like truss rod adjustment, etc., because everything matters, okay? So I hope this quick and very informal lesson on intonation was helpful. I hope that it answered some questions for you guys, and I hope it didn't make a bunch more questions than it answered. Okay, but yeah. So basically, again, intonation is adjusting the string's length and adjusting the string's height, such that your guitar plays in tune as good as it possibly can on as many frets as it possibly can. And the more accurate tools you have to listen to the guitar and tell you whether or not it's in tune or out of tune, the more accurate intonation you can get. Like I said, if all you have is this guy, you can do a lot with a tuner like this. But if you invest in something even more sophisticated, you can get even more sophisticated results. Cool? All right. So the other thing is you're going to need some tools to adjust your guitar, and I absolutely positively, I'm putting all the pieces back in here so that I don't lose them. I absolutely positively recommend this little Stumac screwdriver set. If you don't have one, go get you one. Link in the description below. There's very, very little that you can't adjust on your guitar with this tool. By the way, ooh, you know what? I should show you guys how cool this little trick is. Hang on. You might be like, oh, hey, Matt, I discovered that there's no 4mm Allen key in the Stumac toolkit here. Well, every guitar that we ship comes with a truss rod adjustment wrench, and you can dig this. It fits in the handle of the Stumac wrench set, so you can get this guy into your truss rod, and it's a way easier tool to use to adjust the truss rod than just the wrench alone. And it's magnetic, so it stays. But check that out. So if you have one of these tool sets and you have a Texas Toast guitar, you'll be like, oh man, I'm glad they use a 4mm wrench. I'm just going to plop one in here somewhere where it stays. Let's see, we're going to put it right there. Close the lid, voila. Okay, and then you've got all the little tools and your 4mm truss rod adjustment wrench. That's cool. Isn't that neat how that just kind of is a thing that just kind of worked out great? So yeah, So anyway, intonation, it's easy. I'm not going to say it's fun, but it's worth doing. Remember, if your guitar is properly intonated and your bass player's bass is not, you're going to need to intonate 2 guitars. so having some equipment to set intonation is a good idea, to just go ahead and get some of that stuff. So set the get everything all nice and in tune. Get your nut height done, and get your saddles adjusted so your height of your strings is good. Play your string open and tune it, and then play your string fretted at the 12th fret lightly, and adjust. If your string is sharp, you need to make the string longer. If your string is flat, you need to make the string shorter. And I think that's right. And then and then that works out perfect. If for some reason you can't get your guitar to intonate, it is possible that it is because your frets are in the wrong spot and you should have bought a Texas Toast guitar. Not my fault. You should have bought one. Okay. All right. No, you won't have any trouble. But a lot of guys, I had a friend of mine, Roger, was like, I'm having trouble intonating my guitar at the 24th fret. And I'm like, oh, good Lord. It's good everywhere else. I bet you no one else is going to notice, Roger. And the fact of the matter is that your guitar is not a precision instrument, and it is a precision instrument all at the same time. Go look that up if you don't believe me. It's absolutely true. So this was a fun video, you guys, and I hope you got something out of it. I already said that. So thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys got something out of it. I already said that too. Until next time, this is Matt at Texas Toast reminding you that if you're so smart, start your own YouTube channel. That's what I did. Thanks for watching, you guys. We will see you next time. Have a great week, everybody.